Hey there guys, so with the release of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, it was time to rank every Ghostbuster film from worst to best. At last place is the 2016 reboot. Now, this is not a good movie, but I don't think it deserves all the hate. Now, this film was bashed from the start before the film actually came out. When the first trailer came out, it was like the most disliked movie trailer on YouTube to a point they had to remove the dislike button. Now, watching this for the first time, I liked it more than most people, but today's standards, to me, it doesn't hold up. It kind of loses its charm on the second viewing. Now, the Ghostbusters themselves have excellent chemistry and they do the best with the material they got. But the Ghostbusters themselves and the story as well isn't far off what they did in the 1984 film. And it has a forgettable villain, the cameos are just so forced, and the jokes don't land. I mean, the best thing to come out of this film was Chris Hemsworth. The film really highlights his comedy side. And it does have some fun action scenes, especially when the Ghostbusters utilise different weapons. And I kind of wish we got more of that in other Ghostbusters movies. At number 4 is Ghostbusters 2. Now, this came out 5 years after the first movie. And it has the same director, the same writers, the same cast. And Ghostbusters 2 is a solid movie. But it's the safest movie in this franchise. I mean, it rehashes a lot of elements from the first movie. It doesn't do anything new or special. And I kind of found it a bit off how like the Ghostbusters are like a joke at the beginning of this movie. I mean, they save the city, but now they perform at kids' birthday parties. I mean, at the end of the day, Ghostbusters 2 is a watchable movie. I mean, it does have its moments, whether it's the River of Slime, the painting, the dancing toaster, the Statue of Liberty. At number 3 is the latest addition to the franchise, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Now, this has the makings of being another great Ghostbusters film. The family aspect is still strong. It's the first Ghostbusters sequel to expand the lore. McKenna Grace has some great material to work with. The old cast was handled fine. There's some fun and nostalgia to play with in this movie. Unfortunately, Frozen Empire suffers from too many characters, especially when it introduces new characters that are just simply boring and just simple and only there just for exposition. And Lucky and Podcast didn't need to be in this movie. And the villain in this movie, whilst he had a lot of potential, he did bring that chilling presence, pardon the pun. He kind of fell into that ancient prophecy trope. And in a Ghostbusters film, it was just so unoriginal, and he didn't really feel like a threat to like the last 20 minutes into the movie. And the final battle was kind of short and anticlimactic. If you're a Ghostbusters fan, you're going to have a good time with this movie, but don't expect to be blown away. And number 2 is Ghostbusters Afterlife. Now, let me start by saying there was a big gap between my number 3 and my number 2. I mean, I adore Afterlife. It's still one of my favourite films of 2021. This film could have easily failed. I mean, how do you do a sequel 35 years after the last movie with a reboot that came out 5 years before that kind of failed critically and financially, with also the passing of Harold Ramis? Jason Reitman came along, the son of the director of the first 2 Ghostbusters films, and he went for a completely different direction with new characters and new setting. And it was something that we haven't seen before in this franchise, whilst at the same time it has that stuff that you love from those first 2 Ghostbusters films. It does take a step back from the comedy, but it's the most emotional and heartfelt Ghostbusters film to date, and McKenna Grace is incredible in this movie. So of course my favourite Ghostbusters movie is the one that started all, the one from 1984. This is one of the most iconic movies from the 80s. I mean, the premise alone is so unique. You got 4 middle-aged men who run their own business of catching ghosts. And the characters were handled in the right comedic way. I mean, this movie is just lightning in a bottle. It's so perfect. I can't give it any more justice that other people have. I mean, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is one of the most iconic monsters in movies. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Go like, share and subscribe. Let me know, where would you rank all the Ghostbusters movie? Go check out my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram page, my TikTok page and my Letterboxd page. You guys are awesome. I got your back.